Hey guys, Barcode Pez coming to you again. Well, not really again, but I'm coming to you again, but it's not a video I've done before, but I'm coming to you again with another video, but this is not a kind of whatever. But, as you can tell, the title above me, hopefully. If it's not up there, I'm wondering where the fuck it is. But, I'm coming at you with a top 5 today, and you can obviously tell from the title, if it is up there, what kind of top 5 it's about. Top 5 reactions people have had when they found out I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, the reason I'm doing this video is because I wanted to do another rant, but I can't do a rant at the moment because neighbours, they always complain about me, but they like to leave their windows open when they're having sex. And when I complain, no one gives a shit. It's as if they're trying to compete, but they know they can't. But either way, that's not the point. But I've lost track now. Yeah. I wanted to do another rant, so I looked back at some of my rants and I thought to myself, what have I not done? But when I figured something out, I thought there's no point because I can't do one because I'll keep getting noise complaints, and also I can't be as energetic as I'd like to be because my left arm is kind of in a sling. I had a very serious accident and my shoulder is now broken, so that happens. I've got some time off work, so I thought I'm going to upload on my channel. I'm actually going to do something. I'll try to keep the content going while I'm still at work. I just never had time because of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And playtesting. I never found a break to actually do this. So anyway, the top 5 reactions I've ever had from people who found out I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's get this going. Number 5. Fair enough. No, I'm serious. That is number 5 on the list. Fair enough. Some people are actually quite accepting of it. Some of my friends who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! They can accept it because they remember the game as a kid, and they used to love it as a kid. And it actually shocks them when they find out that the game is actually really competitive. And even when I brought a girl home or something like that, I've actually left cards out on the side because I don't want to put them away because I don't want to lose track of where they are. And they're like, "Oh my god, do you play Yu-Gi-Oh!" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're just like, fair enough. I mean, my girlfriend is even like that. She found out I play it, and she was just like, "Oh, it's fair enough. You got a hobby. That's nice to see in someone." And it's true. It is nice. It's a nice thing to have. Like, some people don't even have hobbies, so because they're so caught up with work and things like that. At the end of the day, a hobby is a part of your social life as well. It's where you meet your friends. It's what you do with your friends. So it's a nice feature at the end of the day to see that someone has a hobby. As much as it is a nerdy one, it's still a hobby. Number 4. Oh yeah, I used to be so good at that game when I was a kid. Really? When you were like 5 years old, you used to be really good at that game? Even when it wasn't really competitive at the time, you were like so blown out of the mind fucking good at it with your Kyber structure deck. And even then, they even say, "Oh, I could probably kick your ass now." It's like, really? Somehow I don't think so. Number 3. Oh man, I used to have so many rare cards back in the day when I used to play that game. It's ridiculous. Oh really? What cards did you used to have? Well, I used to have that ulti Blue Eyes White Dragon. You know, the one from the structure deck. Yeah, but that stuff goes for so much money now though. Really? Number 2. I can smell the virgin on you. See, the funny thing is the reason why a lot of people say that is because they put you in a subcategory. They put you in a stereotype with really fat basement living World of Warcraft players. And I even had a discussion about this with someone at work, and he says you fall into a stereotype of a virgin, girlfriendless fucking waste of space. And I thought, well, not virgin, not girlfriendless, and I'm most definitely not a waste of space, so I don't fall into that category. It's just a stereotype, which is fucking stupid. A lot of people that I see playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Are just people like me, people who like to go out on nights out, people who actually do things, people who go to the gym, people who exercise, make themselves look decent. And the funny thing is a lot of people I hang out with who play Yu-Gi-Oh! Look a lot better than the people who I see given these stereotypes of, "You must be a virgin if you play that game." Fucking shut your mouth. And finally, number 1. You guys can probably guess what it is. You obviously don't have a life. Now this is the big one. Like, I could have probably done a top 10 of all this, but the problem is a lot of them would kind of fall into the same thing of, would you have a life? Do you have a life? And at the end of the day, it's like, do you have a life kind of implies you have no friends, you have no social life, you have no hobbies, you have no job, you just have nothing really. You just don't do anything, but obviously you do, because you have a job, because you need to be able to afford this hobby. And you obviously have friends because a lot of people play this game. It's not like, you know, fucking thing was just pushed in the dark and only a couple of people play it, and they're just like in the shadows, like shuffling their hand and just be like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. There's a burp, and there's also a huge fucking community to this game. We've got ARG, we've got all of this shit which we watch on live streams. This thing is like a sport to us. It's like any other thing. It's like some people who like motocross, or some people who like WWE. A lot of people ridicule them because they say it's fake. At the end of the day, it is sort of fake, but they're still athletes. They're still doing what they need to do. They still go for a lot of pain, which athletes do, if not more. So, does that necessarily make them not have a life? No, because it's supposedly more accepting to society. I mean, it's like, I've even had people at Comic-Con events dressed up who are just stupidly overweight tell me that they're like, if you play Yugioh, you must have no life or something. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? I used to dress up when I was like 5. I don't dress up anymore. But I'm not. If you do that, that's what you do. I'm not taking the piss. The only time I'll take the piss is if you take the piss out of me. Because I remember I went to YCS in London, and that was in the Comic-Con. I can't remember what it was called because I don't really pay attention. I just went there because of the YCS. I don't watch any of that stuff. The only anime, or what I'd say is glorified cartoon, that I watch is Dragon Ball Z, because I used to watch that when I was a kid, and I used to love it when I was a kid, but then it got took off because it was seen as too violent. But I remember I was standing outside having a cigarette, and they're like, oh, is this the entrance to the Comic-Con? And I was like, no, this is the entrance to the YCS. And like, what's YCS? It's like Yugioh Championship Series. And like, Yugioh? People still play that game? I thought that was only for kids. And I just kind of raised my eyebrow and says the guy who dresses up. I mean, it's like, you know, I used to dress up as Batman when I was a kid. So where's your argument in that? But that's the thing. It's an annoying stereotype, but you just gotta kind of deal with it. You know, the shit happens. But at the end of the day, as much as people can say, do you not have a life? You've probably got a better life than them. The people at work who ask me if I got a life just go home, watch TV, and fall asleep. When I go home, I go see my mates. I go see my girl. I go out and have a drink with my mates. I go do a lot of things. And I'm not even that far off their age, to be honest. They're probably near enough. They are near enough the same age of me, and all they do when they get home is watch TV. I know for a fact which life I'd prefer out of the two, and that's the one who sees his mates, makes time for his girl, goes out and gets, well, I'd say get drunk, yeah. Not necessarily the whole objective, but going out and socializing in general, and also competes in big events. Like, that sounds cool to me than going home and just sitting on a couch, drinking a beer, and watching fucking Jeremy Kyle. For all of you who do not know what Jeremy Kyle is, because you are probably in the States, Jerry Springer. Except for not fucking funny. Well, actually, it is very fucking funny, but still, that's not the point. At the end of the day, the way you got to look at it is, if you actually do something, your life is still cool at the end of the day. I mean, if you compete in big events and you do well, that's cool. It's pretty fucking cool at the end of the day. And if you still make time with your mates, and even if you've got like a girl or a couple of girls, that's still cool. It's a better life than any of them who are accusing you of not having a life could ever have. So anyway, I hope this video kind of sort of, you know, broadened your horizon, or made you chuckle, or sort of like you were like, that's true, I agree with this. Well, then leave a like and leave a comment and give me a sub, and even share the video if you think other people will find it funny, or even if you think they'll agree. Also, if I've left any reactions out, like, please leave it in the comments, because I actually want to know what people's reactions are. Like, what's your best reaction you've ever got? Like, if you went to a Comic-Con and you were like, oh, hey, how's it going, babes? And the girl was like, oh, what do you do? And you're like, oh, I play Yu-Gi-Oh for a living. Would you like my Dark Magician? And they're like, fuck me. Then please let me know about that. If someone actually did get that, I want video proof. Just throwing it out there. You may not have videoed it at the time, but I want fucking video proof. Reenact that scene with that girl if you can. But anyway guys, Barco Pez, please leave a like, comment, and please subscribe, and get back to you with some more videos. Out.